What's up, everybody? So listen, I'm really geeked because I'm reading this book and there was this line in there that I thought was really, really dope. I want to share with y'all. But before we do that, I want to go on a little bit of a journey with y'all, which means y'all got to use y'all imagination with me for a second, okay? Alright, so peep this, right? Picture you are in the desert and you are very thirsty and very dehydrated, but you have this huge canteen full of ice cold water, right? You got two choices. You can either take a sip now, or you can tell yourself, I'll let myself drink once I make it to that cactus that's 500 feet away, right? 100 feet away even. Which one are you going to choose? I'm going to go ahead and bet that a lot of us would choose to drink the water right now because you need it right now, right? In fact, you might not make it to that cactus unless you drink right now. I'm using this metaphor as a way to draw a parallel between that and self-love, right? So, stay with me. A lot of us deprive ourselves of self-love and we tell ourselves, I'll love myself when. I'll love myself when I lose X amount of pounds. I'll love myself when I make X amount of dollars, right? When the reality of it is, we need self-love right now, right? It's a necessity. You need to love yourself now, where you are right now. You need it, right? Go back to the desert, right? Be back in the desert. How much easier would it be to make it to that cactus if you gave yourself water along the way? A lot. It'd be a lot easier, my G. If you gave yourself water on your way to the cactus, that walk to the cactus wouldn't be nearly as difficult. I ain't say it's not going to be difficult, so don't do that. I'm saying it's not going to be as difficult. That's the same thing with setting goals. That 10 pounds you're trying to lose, a lot easier to lose when you already loving yourself. Because you know what happens when you start loving yourself? You start eating better. You start taking better care of yourself. You feel more motivated to go to the gym or to do whatever, to go on your walk, whatever it is. When you give yourself what you need spiritually, when you start loving yourself the way you deserve to be loved, reaching your goals, a lot easier. That's not to say you're not going to have difficulty. Remember I said, there'll still be some difficulties. But being able to maneuver through those difficulties will be a lot easier when you're giving yourself the love and attention that you need. When you take the breaks that you need to love on yourself, right? So we can even take this and expand this to like loving other people. Let's say you back in the desert and you still got that canteen of water and you see somebody else struggling. They got a little bit of water, but they don't got as much. You got two choices. You're going to give them water or you're going to say, all right, I'll give you water if and only if you make it to that cactus 500 feet away. For many of us with kind hearts, we're going to let them have a sip. We might even help them walk to the cactus, right? And for those of you who don't know, cacti are full of water. So once they get there, they can put more water in their canteen and you can fill yours back up too, right? But remember, you can't help them if your canteen is bone dry. You know what I'm saying? So you still got to make sure that your canteen got water. I'm not saying you should say, hey, take my whole canteen, because then what you got? Nothing. You still got to make sure you got enough water to give to somebody else. The same thing with love. You got to make sure you got enough self-love that you can let it overflow and assist others. Right? And in assisting others, you both get to a point where y'all can refill y'all canteen. Now we all got love. Right? So the reason I brought this up is because in the book, the line said, love is not a reward. And it really struck a chord for me because I know that me personally, I have continuously treated love like it's a reward. And not so much as far as giving it to other people, but so much as thinking that I had to do something in order to deserve it. But the reality is I'm lovable right now. I'm deserving of love right now. Most importantly, I'm deserving of my own love right now. When we frame love like it's a reward, like it's something you have to earn your way up to, something that you have to prove you're worthy of, that also puts it in the same framework of thinking if you mess up, you stray further and further away from being worthy of being loved. And that's never the case. Everybody is worthy of love. Everybody deserves love. It's a necessity. We deserve love. We all need love. It's not even just about deserving it. We all need it. You need love. First from yourself, and then from everybody else. Not everybody else, but other people. You know what I'm saying? But we all deserve love. I have in the past not only tried to treat love like a reward and think, okay, if I just give enough flowers, they'll love me. If I just hold their hand long enough, if I just shut up and deal with whatever BS they're giving me, I'm going to prove that I'm worthy of love in the long run, and I'll get it. But where I was messing up was, one, I was already deserving of love. I should have been getting from the gate, right? But also, I was waiting for somebody to gift me with something that they didn't have themselves. I was waiting for somebody with a bone-dry canteen to give me a drink. I was waiting on somebody with a canteen that was either just as empty or emptier than mine to help me get something that I quite honestly already had, right? I already had my canteen. That's the crazy part. I didn't realize I had my canteen. It's taken me like a long time to look like, bruh, this joint was been full. It's been full. I've been kind of dishing it out to everybody else, but mine been full. I ain't been taking a drink, but I've been letting everybody else sip, right? But I was waiting on other people with bone dry canteens to let me get a swig, only to realize that I was still parched. Crazy. But anyway, that's a whole nother video. What I'm saying is that love is a basic necessity, and it's something that we all deserve. It's something that we all need, and you need to start by giving it to yourself. But you also need to remember to give it to others, especially those who need it the most. And I don't want y'all to confuse it and think that means that, oh, if somebody is taking you for granted or if somebody is abusing you, then you just got to give them your time and your energy still. That's not what I'm saying. Love does not always equal time and energy. Just because you're extending love, that doesn't mean that person still has to be in your life. If somebody hurts you, if somebody betrays you, if somebody abuses you, it's your decision whether or not you want to keep them in your life, right? But ultimately, another sign of love, whether you choose to keep them around or not, is forgiveness. And forgiveness is not just an act of love in terms of extending it to them, but it's an act of self-love. Because when you don't forgive somebody, who carries that? You do. You walk around hurt. You walk around angry. You walk around resentful. You walk around bitter. And life is not meant for you to have to carry any of that. Life is not intended for us to be upset, angry, bitter, resentful, feeling guilty. We're not supposed to carry that with us. So you need to extend love to yourself, and by virtue, by inevitably to that other person, by forgiving. That is an act of love, y'all. Forgiveness is an act of love. And that also means forgiving yourself. You have to learn how to forgive yourself too. But yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to share that with y'all. Like, love is not a reward. Stop treating it like it's something that you gotta earn, that you gotta like prove that you're deserving of. We're all deserving of it. That don't mean everybody is gonna be willing to give it to you, but understand that a lot of times when people aren't willing or able to give love, it's because their canteen is empty. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It don't mean that you don't deserve it. It don't mean that you aren't worthy of receiving it. A lot of the times, it's because they ain't got it to give. Sometimes you gotta love those people from a distance. But yeah, I just want y'all to know that love is something we all deserve. So now I'm going to end it by telling y'all I love you, all of y'all. Love on yourself, love others, be kind, be gracious, be remorseful, be understanding, be forgiving. Be love, y'all.